Getting back into it, guys. Just pulled up at Titoro boat ramp on the Manukau harbour. Really nice ramp, 2 lanes, all tides, and it's got pontoons and a breakwater down there. And the best thing about fishing weekdays, as you can see, there's only one trailer here. I did pass another boat just coming up the road, so he's obviously been out for the day. But yeah, let's get this bad boy ready and get out there. It's low tide at about 4 PM, so we'll fish till maybe 5 o'clock, start of the incoming, and hopefully get into some Gurnard. Got the anchor with me today, so I'll just go and anchor in one of my shallow spots, pilchards for bait, and see how we get on. Man, what a day it is. Middle of winter. I think it's just been the shortest day of the year a couple of days ago, but the sun's out today. The wind is low, which means the water is calm. Hopefully the fish are biting. Yeah, we'll just let the ski warm up a bit. Got 3 rods with me. Today I'm just fishing. Normally when I fish for Gurnard, I will just anchor in the shallows, sort of around 4 or 5 meters deep. I prefer the incoming tide, but we're going to miss out on that today, unfortunately, because it's going to get dark just after 5 o'clock. But yeah, we'll anchor in the shallows, and I'll just show you how I cube up my pilchards for bait, just tiny little pieces of bait. And I actually fish them on Kabura jigs, something with a small hooks, small sharp hooks, and yeah, lots of little tassels and frilly bits on them. Seems to be something that works really well for Gurnards. Soft baits with lots of wriggly bits on them as well, like small curly tails, they work too. But you generally have to fish them quite actively. But when you're fishing an anchor, quite often bait is the way to go out here. So yeah, one more boat coming in the distance. We will get out there. There'll still be quite a bit of current from the outgoing tide at the moment, so I'm not in too much of a rush. But it's just gone past half tide, so I'll just cruise out there slowly, anchor up, and wait. The sweet spot should be about an hour each side of the low tide. That should be the best time. So yeah, let's get into it. We're in the general area we want to be. There's actually a couple of other boats closer to the spot that I normally fish, so we can't go there unfortunately, but that's alright. There's no structure or anything like that we have to be sitting on to target Gurnard, so we'll just go along a little bit further and then drop our anchor down, I think. Used this anchor setup in a long time. It's not really best for this sort of situation. We just want to let the current take us around. We'll have to let out quite a bit of angle on our rope to make the anchor grab properly. Alright, so we've got the anchor set and our rope in there. See the anchor line down in the water there. Let's get our rods ready. Alright, we've got some pilchards for bait today. Those up in that tray. Nice hard at the moment, but all I do is cut into a cube, then slice the cube in half down the centre like that. Tiny little baits. That's all you need for these fish. Yeah, we've got a 150 gram Kabura on this rod. That'll get down to the bottom in the current, no worries. So I'll just chuck a little cube on one of the hooks, send that down. There's actually not much current here, to be completely honest. So we've got a couple of rods out now. Time to sit back and relax with a beverage, I think. I think I've earned this. Not that I've caught anything yet, but it's a nice day for it, so why not? Well, I think I'm just going to pull these rods in. And since those two other boats moved, I think I'm going to move over to the spot that I was originally planning on anchoring at. I think it's not far away from here, but I'm hoping it'll just be in a little bit more current. So the whole time I've been here now, there's been next to no current, and generally not a good thing with fishing. You do want a bit of current going on. So hopefully if I just move over there a bit more, it will be out of the way of the sandbar, and all going well there'll be a little bit more current there, so I'll pull the anchor up and shift over there. So that's where we were, and we're just going to move back down here. It's only a couple hundred metres away, 200 or 300 metres, but it's just closer to both the channel and the sandbar, so hopefully a bit more movement in the area. And all going well will mean some Gurnard. So the anchor's just pulled up now, and there's definitely a little bit of current here. Not much, but you can just see the angle of the line going towards the back. So there is definitely a bit of current, whereas before there was next to no current. So hopefully this is a winner for us. Getting bites. Check my bait. Bait is gone. Getting a few suspect Gurnard bites. Oh. Feels like a Gurnard. It's a Gurnard. Wasn't really ready for that. Here we go. There you go. First Gurnard on the board. It appears as though that spot move, even though it was only a few hundred metres, made the difference. found a little bit of current, and as a result we found the fish. Let's get another one. So I dropped the tail of the pilchard down, and as soon as it got to the bottom, got hit by something, thinking it's probably a kahawai the way it took it. Yeah, it is a kahawai. It's a bit annoying. That was a good release. Nice and easy. It's obviously up swimming in the water column and saw that bait go down and chased it. And I can't get over how nice of an evening it's turning to out here. I'd be happy even if I didn't have a fishing rod with me. It's so quiet. So we've got something. It's another Gurnard. Woohoo! Actually looks like a good one. Grunt, grunt, grunt. It is quite a good fish too. Look at that. Nice fish. Don't know how easy it's going to be getting a selfie with a Gurnard. Look at that. That's a good fish too. Solid Gurnard. Stoked with that. Definitely getting quite a bit more current now too, which I think is why the fish are coming on the bite. There is a bit of red weed down there, which is really not good for harbour fishing, but hopefully it doesn't disrupt us for too long. I'm already stoked with what we've caught so far. Yeah, so we've got our Gurnard rig ready to go again. Send it down. Really does pay to fish nice light gear with Gurnard. Sort of 6 or 8 pound braid is all you need. I think this is 8 pound. Nice light rod, so you can feel everything that's going on down there. Because quite often they can just sit there and mouth it, and that's when you need to strike them. I think that's why it can be so good fishing circle hooks on a ledger rig for these fish as well, because they essentially hook themselves, but when you're fishing J hooks like on these lures, you've actually got a strike to set the hook, so it does help if you can stay tentative and feel what's going on. There we go. Yeah, it's another one. Oh. Jesus, Gurnard. Settle down, mate. Though I don't blame you for not wanting to come on board, because it's not going to be a happy ending for you, unfortunately. Only thing is, you do have to really watch out when you're using these Kabura type skirts with the tiny hooks. There's 2 of them. Quite often there's only one in the fish, and the other one can potentially end up in your hand. Just going to pull this other rod in. I don't really need it out at the moment. I prefer to be actively fishing for them. I find you catch a lot more that way as well, so, and it's more fun, so may as well do it. Gotta get another pilchard out soon. You really don't go through a lot of bait either, which is another bonus. Bouncing the jig on the bottom can sometimes entice a bite as well. Just kicked up a little bit of sand each time. We did have a bite, but we lost the bait. See, already there's a little bit of red weed starting to gather on the hook. Fish down there, so hopefully we're getting another hook up within a minute. There's a bite. Here we go. This might be a kawa the way it's swimming, unless it's... I think it is a kawa. You little bugger. Won't be too hard on you. You're just doing what you do. Off you go, mate. Since there's kawa around, I'm going to bring this rod in as well. Because the last thing I want is to have to be dealing with a heap of tangled rods. We're in prime time for fishing right now, so I don't want to be mucking around and doing tangles. Bite, bite. There we go. We got one. It's a Gurnard. Woohoo! Still well legal though. But this time of year the size is way up there, so we may as well let him go. Back you go, buddy. Oh, I love it. This has got to be the most simple, sort of old school way of fishing, but it's just spruced up a bit with lures and lighter gear and braided line and sharper hooks and all these little bits and pieces that just add to the excitement and make it so much fun. At the moment it feels like it's basically just a race to get your bait down there and hope that a fish finds it before the red weed does. If you don't get any bites within sort of 5 minutes, it pays to wind it up and A, check your bait, and B, make sure it's not covered in red weed, because if it's covered in red weed, the fish just don't touch it. Yeah, so again, red weed again. That's what I mean by this red weed. It's not actually too bad by this harbour's standards. Sometimes it can get just ridiculous. You'll get a huge clump of weed on the hook. But even a little bit like that is going to stop you catching fish. Well, I don't think I'm going to win this battle, guys. Look at that. Damn red weed. I think I'm going to call it a day. I was going to wait until the sun went down, but still got maybe another hour left of sunlight, so I'm not going to win against this weed. So I'm going to pack up and at least get back to the boat ramp before it starts getting too cold and I freeze my fingers off. Alright, I'm going to pack up and head home. Now, Mrs. is probably going to complain because my hands stink like bait. Every time I use bait, it reminds me how much of a pain in the ass it is. And now I've got 3/4 of a bag of pilchards I have to keep in the freezer at home as well. Because I might come out here and do some more Gurnard fishing. I think probably a morning. I always prefer the morning better. So yeah, let's get this anchor in. Look at this. Don't know whether you can see it or not. There's just that bloody red weed everywhere. Starting to clear up a bit now. Look at that. That's why we can't catch any fish. Can't believe how much there is. Normally you don't see it near the surface like this, but we are right on the edge of a sandbar. So. Oh well, not much you can do. Look at that. Magic. Sun's going down, so let's crank it back to the ramp. Having any luck?
Oh yeah, they're busting up everywhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Kawa.